And welcome, Simon's Trading Channel. It's Thursday, getting towards the end of the week, and that is not a very green looking candle. I hope you're all well. Thanks for joining me for another one of my videos, and let's get straight on with it. So, this is the weekly time frame. Yeah, okay, it's fairly red at the moment. This is Bybit, so that candle doesn't close, so the weekly candle doesn't close until Sunday at midnight, right? But for it to turn green again, like it was last week, the momentum, Bitcoin's got a fair bit of work to do because it's going to continue falling while the price is below 64 and change, right? So that is, using my maths, about $4,000 away. So, fair bit to do in not too many days. CME, for example, closes tomorrow. Oh, and it looks kind of even worse, really. Not to be a naysayer, but CME closes tomorrow. It's got 1 day and 2 hours left. If Bitcoin drops too much lower, that'll be a bearish engulfing on a weekly time frame. Nah, it's all right. Nothing to worry about. Okay, so let me just switch back to Bybit and we'll have a look on the daily time frame. So, yeah, here's the daily, and you can see this uptrend. So, I went through this in the last couple of videos, but this is an uptrend based on the fact that, let me get my little drawing tool out. This is the local low, right? You can either take it from the closes or the wicks, and it's up to you, whatever you like. This is then the high. This is a higher low. My drawing skills are terrible. This is a slightly higher high. And then where Bitcoin's settling at the moment, and you'll only get qualification of this as a low when Bitcoin moves back up. For me, back above 61, basically 61.5. That would qualify as a low. And so if it doesn't break down from where it is at the moment, this will be another higher low. So the trend of higher lows and higher highs will be intact. That is an uptrend by definition. Okay, so it's hanging on. It's hanging on to this daily uptrend. Get rid of all those. The how long's left to this closes? So there's just about 4 hours left until Bitcoin closes this daily candle on Bybit here, and you can see that it's likely to fall below the zero line, i.e. daily momentum that I define as daily momentum to the downside, unless Bitcoin does a bit of upside price action. And that's going to be probably regaining 61,000 more or less. Might be a little bit below there. Well, 61,000 to regain momentum on the daily, as I just pointed out. And I think 61.5 for this to become a low and a higher low of the sequence of lows. Kind of put the pieces together to do your jigsaw. And so yeah, Bitcoin's got to do some upside. And I would suggest it probably needs to see what happens overnight tonight, but I would suggest it needs to do that latest by Sunday midnight when Bybit closes its weekly. So that's my suggestion. Bitcoin, if you're listening, then that's what you should do. So what would that look like on the chart? It would look something like this. So maybe by the weekend, that's into Monday, something along those lines, maybe burn up, as in a sequence of sort of semi-higher lows, followed by a breakout. That's what that would look obviously good if you're looking for upside or you're invested in Bitcoin, and if you're not, so if you're short the market at the moment, I don't know why you would be really. If you're scalping, fair enough, but not if you want to put a long-term short on. But let's say you were, then you'd probably want to see, well, anything really, but what you want to see is the price either continuing on down from where it is now, or if it does indeed get some upside traction, as I'm suggesting I hope it will, then you want it to be rejected around this high. That'll be a double top, and then you want it to break then what would be the current low, which should be here. So yeah, it's always a key time for Bitcoin. I do a video every day, about 10 minutes long. There's always some sort of key area for Bitcoin to defend or get its hands on. And yeah, so right now, don't want to see, well, I mean, if I'm being very generous, I don't want to see any daily closes below 57.5. If I'm being super duper generous, you could have wicks down to 57. This is all on the daily time frame. Yeah, but no daily closes below 57.5. And what would make sense for a more significant upside move? Well, back above 61.5. So there you go, nice $4,000 range for you to mull over. I'll quickly have a look at the 4 hour to see where momentum is. So yeah, momentum's been to the downside for a little while, since Tuesday early evening. Just preceded this big sell-off, which is interesting. And yeah, God, talk about unremarkable. Bring back the days of the massive trending moves in one direction. It's like picking through the dead dry bones of a beef carcass, trying to say something exciting about this price action. I'll tell you what I'll do. Let's take a bit of Fibonacci. So from the top to the bottom, I mean, you probably take it as that. No, I'll take it as that bottom. You can see I was rejected from the 0.5, so, fair dues. And it's now back below the 236. So, to be honest, that looks like more downside. What would make it look much more impressive for more upside? It's about the same. Well, it's a bit higher. Initially, 61.5, as I've said on the other time frames, but 62,000 is absolutely key for Bitcoin at the moment. And it needs to be closing dailies and definitely weeklies above there for this uptrend to continue. But the thing is, right, even if none of that happens, you have to have a bit of perspective at the end of the day. And what I'm going to do now is just get rid of all this ridiculous drawing I've been doing. Oh no, there's not too many drawings on there. I can just do that. And if I show you a weekly again, this weekly consolidation, right, which I don't remember being quite as frustrating as this current one. Maybe it was because I wasn't doing a video every day at that point. But this weekly consolidation that neither broke to the upside nor to the downside, it just basically went sideways. On the higher time frames, of course, 1 hour will be up and down like this, but on the weekly time frame and the higher time frames, it's basically sideways. That was 30 weeks prior to the breakout. This broke out in the 31st week. This is currently 24 weeks, including the week we're in. So even if Bitcoin takes 30 weeks and breaks out in the 31st week, the key is that this didn't form a breakdown pattern. Like, there was no breakdown from this area. And there hasn't really been a breakdown from this area either. There have been some significant wicks, this being the most significant of them all. But it's basically all kind of in the same area. And so I'm not fretting. And it's, this isn't financial advice because I'm not a financial advisor. But it's at times like this where when you've got your eye on the ball, you can probably make the most gains. Because if Bitcoin does continue this bull run by breaking out of this awful range, there's going to be some serious upside. And if you've, been buying all these wick lows, if you're investing, well, they're little gifts, right? Little gifts from the Bitcoin gods. So yeah, that'll do. That's my 10-minute slot done. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please like and subscribe, and even share with your friends. And what do you think of my new blue light reduction glasses? I know they look ridiculous, but they give the world a whole new flavour. Let me show you. Looks like you're sinking into some yellow jelly or marmalade. All right, take care, and I'll see you tomorrow for CME's weekly closure on Friday. Bye-bye.